to tell that okay, enter the first record from the Excel sheet to create a patient. So first Excel sheet will have first name, last name, address and everything. So you don't have to write 50 steps here to create a patient.
We don't have to, or we have to?
You know what I'm trying to say here is create this notepad file. Let's say you create this notepad file. I don't have Excel on this computer, so I'm showing you that notepad, right? And here you say patient 1 and you say first name should be test, or let's say Iya, and say last name should be, I'm sorry for spelling mistake, address, right? The address Alexandria, and that's right. And create one more patient. Create one patient 2, and let's say Elta, and I don't remember your last name, I'm sorry. Solo, it's a long, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Solomon.
yeah,
How
I'm
is
sorry.
Solomon?
And say DC.
It's
So
actually Egyptian last name.
guys, can you focus on this one, right? Desktop, and let's save test patients. I saved this thing here, right? And what do I ask here? Instead of create a new patient, now if I have to write one thing, let's attach that test file first. Test patients here, right? So it has attached the test patients here. So when we design a step, what you should write here is create patient from the, or let's say enter patient information from the attached document, and patient 1. So expected result, right now we are not saving it, so expected result is NA. So now so they can now the tester, oh, where is that? Oh, sorry. Okay. So what I did is I asked them, if you have to create 50 patients, let's say you are writing a test case for creating 50 patients.
Okay.
So how do you ask them to enter, what to enter in patient name, last name, medical history and everything? You have to come up with that when you design a test. Sometimes the company sometimes company provides, if not you have to create your own. Whoever is writing the test case, they need to coordinate with the developers, and they say, you know, I'm creating this many users, is that okay? Yeah, it's okay, so create it. It's a lot of collaborative approach for that.
Okay, so you're saying instead of writing 50 patients' name,
Here if you have to enter, you know, enter first name, yeah, enter last name, Keras, enter address, Alexander. So it has added 3 steps here, right? If I add those 3 steps here,
okay.
So instead of asking that, I'm asking enter the patient information from the attached document, patient 1. So they know that I have to find the document here, I need to open this document here, and I need to use this.
If you had 50, all the 50 would
Be here, yeah.
instead of that one.
Instead of that one.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So basically, we have to all in it, just everything is there. We
Everything
have
is
to
just, yes.
Look everywhere.
Look everywhere and read and write it in a precise way that anybody now if you read it from the fresh mind, you know that they are asking me to go to file menu and new patient, and they are asking me to check that create patient window should be displayed. So that means create patient window should come up, and when I come up, what should I do after that? I should enter patient information from the attached document. So now you know each and every step what they are trying to test it here.
Where is actual results?
We are coming to that point. Just stay with me here for this one. Now do you understand, right, how to write a test case here? And we have saved that test case here. Test script is for the automation, and these are the requirement coverage. So now we know if this one is covering more than one requirement, you can add it here. or if it's not, then you can just delete that. Right, so now we have only this test case is covered only one requirement. So now if you go to the requirement phase here, and you can change this one to this one. See, now do you see the not run, oh, not covered? Does it says that now it's not it's not anymore in not covered state? So that means it has a test case. Do you see the play button here?
Yeah.
Because we linked that.
Okay.
But it has,
The matrix?
forget the matrix, that's a manual way of tracking it. Here it's in front of you.
It's
This
done
is the
already.
requirement traceability matrix.
Yeah, but that wizard does show that there's test case for it. That was
Yes,
okay.
but it's not executed yet because we have just created it.
Oh, it's not executed.
No.
Yeah,
But it'll just say no, no
Not
run. That
run.
means it's somebody wrote a test case.
yeah. So
And then
now let's execute this test case. How do you execute it? Let's say for we know that, right? In Jan we build 1, build 2 and build 3. So first we execute it for build 1, and then we'll execute it, and we'll report a defect for it. All right?
We have to always start with one first.
Yes.
the first one is launch.
Okay, so now we know the test complete requirements. We know how to write requirement, we know how to test plan, how we created this test plan, how we created this test case, how we created the steps here, how we created the attachments, how we mapped it to requirements. Oh, it's not showing me the entire okay, here, how we mapped it to requirement. Now let's say you completed writing all your test cases. Let's say you have 100 test case. So here you will find your TC1 up to TC100. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so now when you get your build first,
What does this mean, test lab?
task lab means that's where you execute your test cases, and you can see you can plan your test, which test case you are going to execute, which not, how you're going to define your test sets. Let's say for January to March you wrote only 15 test cases, but still there are, out of the 15 there are 5 still you are writing, you are not completed it, and you got one build. So what you will do is you will say, okay, I have 10 test cases which are completed, so I will create a build one test plans, build one test cases which I am going to execute, and let's execute that and observe the results, and enter the defect for build 1 for only all those test cases which are not completed, which are completed stage.
How often are test cases executed? Right.
That's the reason in the first lecture we said, right, and after project interview, if they say, if the interviewer asks you how much, what is the frequency of builds, so you can say initially we are getting builds every month, the later it will be weekly.
No, not build wise, but you write a test case and you execute it right away, or
Yeah, you will have some time in between
So you're
to
saying
for
like
reviewing all
you
those things.
wrote-
Some, it depends on the companies, it's not by the book, nobody follows that thing.
Okay, so you say you wrote 10 test cases and you didn't get a build, and when you get a build, you test whatever test cases you've
You
written
complete
so
it,
far.
yeah,
Not the ones that you didn't write.
not the ones you
Got
didn't.
it, okay.
So let's say you finished this create test plan, you didn't complete this edit test plan,
Yeah.
right? So let's go ahead, and when we got the new build,
Mm-hmm.
attachment contain, okay, come on. So we'll create a folder for build
test case?
1.0, right?
Okay.
This one is charged.
So you have
Okay.
to enter it in, it won't come automatically?
No, it won't
Okay.
come automatically. Let's say you got the build 1,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now you know the description, what the build. This is generally your project manager or somebody else will do it. Build 1.0 contains, you don't have to do it. Build 1 contains, or sometimes you have to do it because you know that you are going to execute only few test cases. Patient management and vitals management, right?
So again, you have to write it in description?
Yeah, because that's where you're now executing everything.
Okay.
So now we create a set of test cases
Okay.
that for this build I'm going to execute only the test
See,
case
we
which
need
I'm
to be
completed.
very comfortable with these buttons, like with
Yeah,
these
you can,
tools.
when you move your mouse over that, it will show you what this button is about. You see a new test set, you see a new folder, you see a delete folder, you see a refresh and a filters. So now we are going to create a set of test cases.
So this was my question, like, they don't teach you these tools?
That's the reason I'm teaching you.
No, like, because they provide training at work.
In some companies don't. You have to do it by yourself. Ask your colleagues, they'll help you.
Yeah, especially if you said in your resume you know how to do this.
So
Yeah,
this
but
is what we are
with-
going to write in our
yeah,
resume.
with Mercury, yes, we know how to do it, but what if it's different software?
So on YouTube, if you type ClearQuest, you will find everything in that. Within 10 minutes, you will be expert in ClearQuest. I guarantee you that. If you practice this hard, I can guarantee you that. If you go to the YouTube after, practice this one. Don't go to YouTube or don't think about any other tool right now. Just for next 2 to 3 days, practice on this one, Mercury Quality Center. Prepare requirement, prepare test plan, prepare test lab, execute it, enter a defect. And after you get comfortable on this one, within 10 to 15 minutes you will complete ClearQuest. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, it's like Gmail and Yahoo. I mean, yeah, Gmail
Correct.
and Yahoo.
Gmail, yeah, if you know how to use Gmail, you'll know how to use yahoo.com.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Right? So let's say the module 1 with patient and vitals. So we created a set of test cases. So now we are going to we are going to execute only this test case. Right? So what is the first test case that we are going to execute? Create patient. And right now we did not run it, so it's in no run status. Right? So now this one shows you how you gonna execute. First you're gonna do that, then let's say you're gonna write this one. So if you see in the execution flow, you will see first they are going to execute create patient, then they're going to do all these things. So this is just to give you a pictorial view of how your test is going to look like. So test set properties, you can attach any document to that, and linked defect. On failure, what you're gonna do? If the automation is, if the build is, if it is not run, so what you're gonna do? So all these parameters you define it here. So but basic idea here is to understand only this test execution grid. This is what the 90% of your time you will be using it. An edit patient is not completely done yet, so we will not run it, but we'll keep it in this test set.
Okay. So are we
Right?
gonna run the first one?
I'm sorry.
Are we gonna run the create patient?
So now if you see, for this requirement I have this test case under it, and for this requirement I did not mapped it. So you see there is no test case attached to this requirement. Right? So here you can filter, set the filter short, and direct cover setters view. Okay. Priority or creation, direct cover state not completed or not run or no run right now. So let's we'll do that here. Okay. So for this requirements, only this test case I have. So that's the reason it's only showing me only the requirements which has the test case. So here directly you can see how many requirements we already covering. If your test lead is logging into this software, they'll see only for patient module you have the protocol. For vital management you didn't write, just write it now. We need to test it. So you can manage your test case execution.
So you want us to take this requirements for the vital?
I'm sorry?
You want us to write this task cases on vital, right?
Yeah, on this vitals. So now let's execute it. And to answer your question, where is the actual result now? So we are coming to that point now. Let's execute it. And so for that you have to do it run manually here. Right? So now this window is open, and here you have to open the Connects VM. Let's open that and execute it ourselves.
So you write test cases before you get the build.
I'm sorry?
You write test cases before you get the build.
Correct.
based on the SRs.
Yes.
I need to restart the services. Wait a minute, I need to pause the recording. Alright.
So what is the QTP then?
We are coming to that portion.
Oh, we
Coming,
are?
yeah. So now you know from. Okay, let's see right now when we made this test set.
One sec. Hang on, what's